As I point out in my customer service training seminars, in a perfect world, customers would always be polite and respectful. You and your team members would feel great about taking care of them. In the real world, however, there are going to be times when you need to deal with difficult, angry customers, which is not only bad for business, it's also bad for morale. I'm Jeff Mowatt. Organizations have been bringing me in to provide customer service training for their teams for over 30 years. The good news is there are several ways you can gain respect from people to prevent them from becoming difficult in the first place. You'll discover 3 of them in this video. Be sure to watch this right through to the end because my last tip will be how to deal with disrespectful know-it-alls. It was a humiliating experience that I will never forget. My first job when I got out of university was selling one-right accounting systems door-to-door to businesses without an appointment. I'll never forget the day when a manager finally agreed to see me and he said, okay, I'll give you 5 minutes, follow me to my office. So I'm walking behind him and I'm saying, oh, thanks very much. I really appreciate your time. Why? Is it not worth my time? And he's dead serious. I'm like, oops. It occurred to me that I was being too grateful and too deferential to a potential customer. How about you and your team members? Is it possible that they may be putting your customers on too high of a pedestal? Or do they take the opposite approach and treat your customers condescendingly? It's like, you, Mr. Customer, are lucky to be dealing with moi. Oh yeah. Yikes. Employees interacting with customers walk a fine line of diplomacy when it comes to status. As I teach in my customer service training seminars, we want employees to treat customers not as higher status or lower status, but we want employees to treat our customers at equal status as trusted advisors to those customers. In other words, we don't want customers to see us as service providers. We want our customers to value us as their trusted advisors. Once customers see you as a trusted advisor, they'll become less difficult and more respectful. And suddenly, your job becomes a lot more pleasant. Here are 3 easy ways to make that happen. Since I'm producing more of these types of videos, be sure to like and subscribe so that as I release more of them, you'll get a heads up. Okay, our first of 3 ways to earn respect as a trusted advisor so that your customers don't become difficult is don't hide. Question for you. When you and your team members introduce themselves to your customers, do they use their first name only or do they use first and last names? Now, these days when people are becoming more casual, most people just use their first names. And in terms of status, that's a mistake. Instead, when you introduce yourself with your first and last name, it tells the customer 2 things. First, it says, I am comfortable being held accountable. If you have a question, you should ask for me, which is why I'm volunteering my last name. And the second message it tells customers is I'm important enough that you should know who I am, which is why I'm volunteering first and last name. At that stage, it's like, you're going to the washroom? Mention my name, you'll get a good seat. Well, okay, maybe not. Interesting though, all that enhanced status simply by offering your first and last name. Go figure. My second tip for earning respect as a trusted advisor is command attention. A fast way to lose respect is to start talking with someone who isn't willing and ready to listen. So before we ask customers or coworkers a lot of questions, we need to qualify with them that they're open and receptive to the conversation. Unfortunately, a lot of common attempts to gain attention actually reduce our status. So for example, asking somebody, got a minute? When the conversation is clearly going to take over 60 seconds is going to lose trust. Same with, oh, got a second? Or you busy? Well, who's not busy? So when you're in a position of needing to get someone's attention, here's a line that I think you'll find helpful. And it's simply a few things I need to ask you. How's your time? Are we okay? Since we're on the topic of gaining attention, I've been asked by frontline staff in my seminars, well, what do you do when a customer is busy on their cell phone and talking sideways to us, trying to get stuff done? So it's kind of like they're going like, yeah, sure, yeah. Hey, can you see if that's in stock, please? Yeah, what? So my advice when you're talking to a customer who's busy on their cell phone is simply say to that customer, I'll take care of you as soon as you're done your call. And then I'd move on to something else that I'm doing or move on to the next customer. That rude customer is going to sense in a hurry that you're not a doormat, that they need to be respectfully. They're going to finish their call, and then you're going to see a change in the way they interact with you much more respectfully. Respect, unfortunately, is something we sometimes have to earn. It doesn't come automatically. You notice I did not say, I'm not going to deal with you while you're on the phone. And we don't have a bunch of signs saying, oh, don't be rude to our employees or no talking on cell phones. We're just wording it positively. I'll take care of you as soon as you're done with your call. Boom, away we go. My third tip for earning respect as a trusted advisor so that people don't become difficult is compliment know-it-alls. Hopefully, as you grow your reputation at work for being reliable and dependable, you'll be dealing with more of your company's higher value customers who are making higher dollar buying decisions. Then the question often becomes, okay, how do you deal with a customer who's a bit of a know-it-all? What we don't want to do is get into some sort of a competition of who's smarter. That's a win-lose scenario. Instead, consider using an approach that I call you bring, I bring. In other words, it might be something like, hey, you're the expert in running a construction company. My focus is on managing risk. So in other words, the more quickly you express your respect for their expertise, the more receptive they are to yours. Bottom line, that manager who I thought was kind of rude decades ago, who stopped me in my tracks, why, is it not worth my time? Well, at the time, it was indeed humiliating, but it was a lesson that stuck with me the rest of my life. Certainly, we need to be polite, but that doesn't mean being subservient. The good news is just changing a few words with customers has two outcomes. Customers actually pay attention, and secondly, they respect you as a trusted advisor. That means happier customers, business grows, and better days and a better mood that we take home from work. Everyone wins. Well, I hope you found this to be helpful. And if you like this video, I think you're going to love my 30-second tips. You'll find them for free at jeffsbusinesstips.com. See you next time.